Hello and welcome. I'm learning how to create a cloud-based database using Firebase. So what I did was visit this useful website over here and then read the documentation on how to set up a cloud database in Firebase. So after learning that, I also use ChatGPT to enable me to implement some of these steps, guide me through on how to set up the um, Firestore. So the goal was to implement a reliable code operation, then how to model relationship in Firestore using document references, and it also provides both a terminal and a simple GUI to interact with the data. So first of all, what I did was so um, what I did was to install the requirement, the Firebase admin, the Google Cloud Firestore, and also I created the Firebase account using the Firebase console, and then I created my Firestore database. So here you could see that we have the paste. This actually paste if we are able to connect to the Firebase. So if we're connected, we receive an hello message, hello Firestore, because page is connected. And then we have here two collections under text. We have the user profile and the workout. So in this user profile, as you can see here, we have the user ID, which is here. We also have the second user ID. For the first user ID, we have the age, which is stated, rated this particular date. The goal is to lose fat, and the name is just a demo user. And the weight in kg is 75 kg. For the workout, we also have something similar with that, with the assigned user ID here, which the user had calories on about 350, rated this there, and then with a duration minute of 45 minutes to work out. A profile reference is the user profile slash the user ID profile, and the workout type is cardio. So let's get down to our code. So over here we have the main app over here, the main.py. So from Firebase configuration, we imported the database. As you can see, this is the Firebase configuration. We imported the database. And secondly, we have our Firebase key being stored here. So we also have the git ignore to ensure that our Firebase key is not being pushed to the GitHub um, profile. So, and here we have the tracker. This is a Python where we could see that we imported the date time, we imported the Firebase configuration, imported the database. For our first function, we have here is to create the user's profile, and then the second function we have is to get the user's profile, the list of profiles, and then the to format. The other one is to format the profile using the which would return the profile ID, the name, age, weight, goals, and the date created. Then we also have a function to delete profile, update the profile, create the workout, and then get the workout, and also list the workout, format the workout to the output or the GUI. Then let's get over here and test how our applications work. First of all, we have to test our database connection. So let's run our database connection here and check the output. Okay, you can see we have a message on Hello Firestore with a status connected. We have now connected to our database. So the next step is to run our application and check how it runs. This is we are running the application on the terminal. This is the so you can see our application is running perfectly in the terminal. You can also run the application in the GUI. So let me try that and see how our application is been running. Okay, let's go. Okay, you can see that our graphics user interface is being displayed. So you can type in first post and then we have created a profile. And then as you scroll down, you can see the profile ID here. The name is being registered Kings, the age 20, the weight is 56, kilometers weight, and the date time in which the profile is created is on the year. So we can also um, delete our profile. So let's copy this profile page. Let's see what we are and then delete. Yes. So when you go over here, you will see that we don't have the profile here. So let's try and update this on our program. Copy the profile first here and try to update the profile. Let's leave a first time this time. So page. Let's leave the stay and next. So you can see we have another profile update here. Update the profile. See we have the profile update here. Makes 50 and makes. So that is it for